been actually it's been like an hour or so, in all honesty, since I recorded the last part of this double feature. You can see I have built up a fair bit more of the house. There's a single spruce tree that has grown, but I'm waiting on more to grow before I build into the next level. So I figured I might as well walk through my plans for where I'm going to finish building it, just so that I have it documented so that I can go back later and just be like, okay, where was I going to put this wall? Oh, I see there. I also nearly died. I took a bit of a spill. So yeah, you can see I've stopped doing the sort of gap in the middle because it would just be a bit too small with the way that this floor ended up shaping out. So yeah, the idea that I'm working on is that actually I've got these stone bricks here, so I can, let me just carve out, no, because I'm gonna have brick there, brick there. Right. Just gonna clear out the bits where it's floating off the ground. There we go. And then let's actually also look at what I've done over here. Right. So I think what I'm going to end up doing, boink, 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 is actually, yeah, no, not here, but rather boink, 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 boink. Dang it. Shield's get in the way of me doing that thing. There. Just helps to cut falling damage short a little bit. Doink, doink, doink. There we go. Boink, 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 do. And then yeah. Gonna have this wall come up along here, and apparently I need more stone bricks. Oh well. But yeah, my idea is gonna be like have it run along here. Or actually, no, it would be, yeah, run along here. So I have like one last floor at that level. And then just along like so. That should have stayed there. Here we go. That's the one I'm removing. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to have it run along that wall there. I'm tempted to just keep building this up and up and up and have this wall run along, like, at the very, very back. Which, I mean, I might, but I feel like it's just a little bit much. You know, I'll probably have a tower separate from the main building on top of here. That'll be like a watchtower or something. You know, a lighthouse of sorts. I mean, heck, maybe I'll even build an airship that, because Minecraft doesn't support airships and the like, won't be able to move, but it'll still look cool, right? It'll still look cool. Gonna be an absolute pain to try and build floating up in the middle of the air without dying. I might mess around with cheats just to be able to build it. I don't know. This is all super hypothetical. I've obviously been stoking my creative juices a little by building up the house. That extra floor I've managed to put in there, I think at least, looks fairly nice. Pumpkins are continuing to be annoying, unsurprisingly. Two of them are where they're supposed to be now, which is obviously a huge improvement. There we go, got a bit of bone meal. So, yeah, things have really started slowing down, and because I don't want to clog up my computer with a recording that is far too big for it to handle, wait, no, it wasn't. It's the bread. The bread is what I was... Sorry, I've had to replace my tools so many times. It's just sort of muscle memory at this point. Right. So, I've got my bread. There was a wandering trader in here for a while. I think he left, as they tend to. I think I'm gonna, because I've lost the Bad Omen debuff. I think I'm gonna go hunt that pillager or squad of pillagers that I saw earlier, assuming they haven't... Excuse me! Assuming they haven't despawned or anything. I mean, I do have a few of those trees grown, so... You know what? No, never mind. I was going to put some stone on to cook into stone bricks, but I feel like that's maybe a bit, yes, it takes a while, but that's more something I want to do while stuff is actually being built, rather than after the fact. So, hopefully, the pilgers are around somewhere for me to kill. Doesn't look like they are, though. Which is actually pretty good, because it means I'm safe. So yeah, I'm thinking that I might want to just brighten up the area downstairs a little. Although probably really what I'll do is, let's see. Yeah, no, I think I'm just going to leave all that alone for now. I do only have iron armor after all. And talk a bit about my plans in general. So, I mentioned last time how I've devised a sort of save point system for myself to use. And the idea behind it is just... I get one of the legendary advancements, one of the purple text advancements, whatever you want to call them. And then when I do, that functions as a save point. So I immediately stop playing, save and exit, copy the world data to a backup folder, and then just go back to playing. If at any point I die, I pull that world back up into the levels folder, delete the one where I died, and I just say, okay, right, I am going to play from the save point. And when I get a new save point, I have to delete all previous save points. Or I guess the one previous save point, since I'm deleting the last one whenever I get a new one. So there can only ever be one. What that means essentially is that I will not be able to, if I get a legendary advancement in a bad situation, I'm stuck with it. So it forces me to be very tactical about my timing, and it also makes it so that I can't just get out of jail free. I have to die for me to be able to use it. I can't just say, oh, something didn't go the way I wanted, I'm going back to my save point. It's only when I die. So if I see that I'm about to die, but if I see that I am about to get a legendary advancement, but right after that I will die, I have no choice but to take the death and, restart from scratch, because that is the way that getting stuck in a sort of permadeath state from the save point being immediately before I die is going to work. I can't, manipulate or shenanigan it so that I can get out of a guaranteed death that is imminent at the save point. Just like in any other game where that happens, I'm basically overwriting my old save, which means that if I save, 2 seconds before, or not even 2 seconds, like half a second before I get hit by something that kills me, I can try 1,000 different ways of trying to not die to it, but I'm still going to die to it, and I have to just eat that. So, yeah. As for my plans sort of outside of that, so generally speaking, I have pretty broad plans. I want to go into the Wither and the Ender Dragon and the Warden, each with a full set of netherite armor and netherite gear. Obviously, that's going to be very hard to get. Netherite is a nightmare. So my plan is, before I even go into the Nether, I am going to, create the village in my base so that I can have villager trades. And what I'm going to do with that is have multiple traders to get me, essentially, a limitless supply of diamond gear. That will cut down on, my reliance on RNG for diamonds. It will cut down on how difficult it will be for me to get that. Obviously, brewing stands, I'm not going to get one of those before I go to the Nether. But what I can get before going to the Nether is the stuff I need for the diamond gear. So I'll be going in with full diamond gear, and more importantly with renewable diamond gear, which is important because, yeah. Now, I am going to want mending. I'm going to want mending on all of my armor, on a bow, and on a sword, and probably also on a shield. The key reason for that being, netherite is incredibly hard to get, and I want to be able to not have to worry about my equipment's durability. Additionally, there is a limit on how, even if I, manage to reliably get netherite, I'm going to be doing a lot of sort of hit and run, hide and heal tactics in order to survive those fights. It's just a necessity. And the thing about mending is, so repairing an item normally, you can repair items in your crafting grid by combining two of the same item. It's slightly more efficient than just using each one to death separately. However, you can also repair them in the anvil, which is the same efficiency if you're combining two items, but it also keeps the enchantments on them. You can also in the anvil repair something with just its raw material. However, when you do that, it costs experience, which increases every time you do it, and there is only a certain number of times that you can. So you can only repair an item so many times. Obviously, that is not ideal, because it means that you are, even with something super durable like netherite, you are at least theoretically going to eventually not be able to repair it anymore. Additionally, upgrades, like combining it with enchantments and such, counts against that cap. At least that's my understanding of it. And so, if you are, trying to sort of custom design the best possible gear, you end up in a situation where you have, none of the gear that you have can be fully, you have to choose between having good gear or having it for longer. And I do not want to have to make that choice. So, instead, I'm going to do a lot of grinding, all of which is going to be off-screen, and none of which is even going to be recorded, because, I'll probably record it just in case, but, it'll probably just be a case of, okay, I record for 2 hours, my hard drive fills up. Well, more than 2 hours. I record for 10 hours, my hard drive fills up. I dump the footage. I record for 10 hours, my hard drive fills up. I dump the footage. Rinse and repeat until I eventually have the, in total, I think it'll be 7 mending books that I need. As for how I am going to get all of those books of mending, fishing. Fishing rods are relatively easy to make, if you've got string, which you can trade for with the villagers, if I'm remembering correctly. I believe it's on the Fletcher's list. So you can get string and, use that to make fishing rods. You can also just trade for fishing rods, I do believe, with a fisherman, but don't quote me on that. And then by doing so, obviously, I have a consistent supply of fishing rods. Mending is classified as a treasure enchantment, which means that you can't get it from, the enchanting table, but you can get it from treasure chests. So, finding a nether fortress and hunting for a blaze in it is, of course, going to involve looking for books of mending. What's really going to suck is if I come across a non-diamond item that has mending, because you can't take the enchantment off that and put it onto something else. If it's a tool, it'll probably just become my go-to tool. Otherwise, it's... it's just gonna basically be garbage for me. Which sucks, but because of how my luck tends to work out, it is almost certainly going to happen in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, if it's a piece of gold armor with mending, that's actually pretty good, because it'll be a reliable way of staying safe from piglins. But, I obviously don't know what it'll be until I get it. And I am going to end up with it, mark my words. I am, at some point in my search for a book of mending, going to fish up probably a golden item with mending. If it ends up being wooden, that's actually even worse, because wood doesn't even have as fast a mining speed as gold. So yeah, that'll eventually happen. I am fairly confident. But until it happens, yay go me, I'm lucky. Regardless, the idea is that once I've got, my sort of handmade, custom crafted, etc., min-maxed armor, because here's another thing, I'm not going to be directly, or for the most part, I'm not going to be directly upgrading or enchanting the armor. I am instead going to be enchanting books to try and get essentially better control over what enchantments I actually have on the armor, because there are limits, right? So if I can get, enchanted books with the various different things I want, then I can just combine them all, which will be very, very good. It'll mean that I don't actually have to worry about my magical equipment just being an absolute botched roll, which will be very nice, honestly. I do not want to have to worry about whether I am, going to get lucky on this, roll of the diamond or netherite equipment enchantment, because if it's a botched roll, then, I guess I could disenchant and reenchant, but that's a bit of a slog. Anyway, I think I'm actually going to call it there. This has only been about a 22-minute episode, but it's been about an hour and a half of recording, which is way more than I usually do. So, thank you all very much for watching. Hang on, I need to actually put myself on webcam. There we go. So, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.